I have a whole bunch of reading to share with you, as does Yuna apparently. Such a good cat. As often happens, I keep getting sick, or was away, or it's been way too hot, so I've not really done too much recording over the last week or two. And my initial intention was to do my last Yuna's Tale is just smacking the camera, I can't see anything. My intention was to film the last reading vlog about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we've just been going through constant back-to-back heat waves in the UK, and I do not do well in the heat. I constantly get sick in the heat. Everything makes me sick, to be fair though, so I'm gonna pull everything I've read off the shelves, and yeah, I'll make a decision if I'm gonna do just the volume 1s that I've read or try and do a bit of everything. We'll see when we can visualize it together. So this is everything I've read over the last month or so. There is still a chunk of volume 1, so even if I just do the volume 1s, it might take a while. Let's start with the volume 1s, see how we do. Worst case, this might be 2 parts. Wiggle. So as I said, we're going to skip over any that aren't volume 1s for now, and we'll see how we're doing at the end. I have flipped the stack, so it's order that I read it, so we're going to do oldest first. So the first volume 1 we have is Stella Must Die. It is a new title from Caketinz. So I initially was getting Nina, Starry Bride vibes, very, very blue eyes on the cover primarily. That did not prepare me for what the story was actually about. So fair warning for all of these, I do spoil the entirety of the volume 1 in my mind. Volume 1 is fair game. If you don't want to know anything though, please use the timestamps to just jump along and skip anything that you might, if you don't want to know anything about it, just skip ahead. But yeah, so Stella Must Die. So during a hunting accident, the king unfortunately passes away due to injuries, and he leaves behind his daughter, Stella, and a couple of stepchildren. At first there is some mild uncertainty on who might take over the throne, but it is quite quickly confirmed that it is going to be Stella. And this does not make her step-siblings happy because they want the throne, they want the power, and they don't see why it should be Stella's, basically. So they then embark on this journey where they are determined to just basically try and kill off Stella. However, it does keep going wrong. She keeps surviving all of these assassination attempts, and we don't quite understand why at first. Now, I am just going to quickly say that on the back of the volume, it does say that it's from the same creator as Time Stop Hero, and I was very surprised because I just didn't think initially looking at the cover it was going to be the kind of series that I would have associated with Time Stop Hero. If people don't know about Time Stop Hero, this isn't going to be majorly spoilery. If you are worried I'm going to spoil another series, it is an isekai where a guy is tasked to save the kingdom and he has the ability to stop time, hence the title. And that side of it is really neat and interesting. The side where he also uses that to undress and assault women while the time is stopped is a bit less so. And it turns out, yeah, having read this, I get it now. So it turns out we start following this other POV and it's very confusing. This POV is I'm in a dark place. I don't understand what's happening. Where am I? Why can't I move? Why can't I see? Why can't I speak? And then they realize that they think they were a Japanese man and now they're somewhere else. They kind of think they might have been isekai'd. But then what we learn is they have been isekai'd as a tapeworm into this girl's large intestine, or in somewhere inside of her. This Japanese man has been isekai'd as a tapeworm. I feel like series like this are why people hate on isekai. Isekai is this just generic, gross. Yeah, sometimes it is. There is quite a few lines where it's I'm eating quite literal poop. Oh, I don't eat that. Why am I reading this? And yeah, basically they kind of figure out what's happening, this tapeworm, and decide to try and do everything in their power to protect their host, which is how she's managing to survive all of these assassination attempts, is because of this weirdly overpowered isekai tapeworm. They do figure out how to control Stella using its tendrils. They spread through her body. When she's asleep, it pops out so it can look around, because now he's managed to grow an eyeball, basically, I think. Yeah. Warning for the end of the volume, she does discover what's going on and was way too accepting. Was just way too accepting of what was going on. Yeah. It's this like weirdness about women's bodies. Like there are parts where like this worm is filtering out the fat from her food because he's like, she could do with losing a bit, basically. I think people are going to read it because it's like, oh, that's really weird. And yeah, it is really weird, but it's also kind of gross. I think it'd be like, if I see it on sale or discounted, but I do not think I'm going to rush to grab more. I do think it's going to deceive a lot of people because not a single person that I've spoken to or talked about, like, yeah, this is what happens in this. And like, I had absolutely no idea. So you have been warned. In case, maybe I've actually like encouraged more people to try it, I don't know. Next we have Cat Life Balance, another new series from Kodansha. I really like this one. It is about some co-workers, and this guy is like, he's treated like a prince. He can do no wrong, he's perfect, he can help everyone goes to him for help, and he kind of feels a bit like overwhelmed, but he also is a bit of a people pleaser. He can't say no. And then there's this like after work outing, going drinking, he manages to get out of it, saying that he's got some work to do or whatever. And then when he does head home and he passes by a park, he sees this other co-worker who's fairly shunned. Everyone thinks she's a bit weird, she's a bit quiet, no one really talks to her. And he sees her like being really happy and looking after these cats in this park. And it turns out that that's what she does. There are these stray cats that live in the park, and her and another person take turns going and looking after them, feeding them, giving them water, emptying their litter trays. They'll talk about how it's like this like park not mandated, like it's been accepted, they're allowed to do it, approved, they've got permits or whatever. And then every day after work she stops at the park, sits with the cats, plays with them, feeds them, looks after them, spends time with them. And it's what I really liked is it's kind of this story between these two people who have this like perception of what they look like to the people they work with, but that's not really who they are, and they just don't feel comfortable like really being themselves, but they are when they're with the cats in the park and just looking after the cats and being all cute and awkward and open and honest. And I just absolutely loved it. It's my kind of thing, and I look forward to more. Yeah, it says on the back for fans of Sweat and Soap and Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You, I would say, yeah, like office vibes. It does remind me of Sweat and Soap, minus the sniffing. Excited for more of this one. Pull out. Actually, there's a whole load of non-volume ones. Ooh. Next we have I Have a Crush at Work, Volume 1, another office-based romance. This is just quite cute, to be honest. It's a pair that are dating and they're trying to hide it. And they work together. And they're just really cute and awkward about it. There really isn't much more to it than that. We get to see them spending time together out of work as well, like going on some dates, but otherwise it's just very cute. I do think I have a bit of a soft spot for office romances, considering that I am in a relationship with someone that I work with as well, and we work pretty closely as well. Currently we are on the same project, and I think we actually work quite well. It's quite nice, but I also work with my parents, so in terms of having that like work-life balance has never been very good in my family. Anywho, also this is a print-on-demand title. These are a bit more on the pricey end. There isn't really much like give in terms of discounts from places. This I got in like, there was a Blackwell's discount and I picked up a load of print-on-demand stuff then. And yeah, I think it's complete at like 13, 14 volumes. It's like double digits at least. I'm gonna have to like keep an eye out for discounts though for the print-on-demand. They don't always appear on Sci-Fi and they don't always appear in store. Blackwell's has so far been the only consistent place that I've found them. So yeah, I'll have to just see, hopefully. Next is another print on demand. It is Cells at Work Lady. I do quite like the Cells at Work series. I find it very interesting, and I was very excited that they were bringing more of these out, even if they are also print on demand. This one is supposed to be more specific to like the inner workings of a lady, the biology stuff that happens, all of that. I'll be honest, when I saw that cover, I thought they were both women. I'm fairly sure they're not. I think they're men. I think pretty much all the characters except for a small portion in this are portrayed as men. And I'm like, I don't know. They treat it as if they're like looking after their lady, like butler style, I feel is kind of the vibes it's going for. I don't know. I feel like it would have been neat if it was an all-female cast, potentially. Some bits I'm also a bit okay. Like one of the chapters is talking about what it's like when your body goes on a diet. And I'm like, well, it's not really like a lady body thing, is it? But what I did also find really funny is when they were demonstrating some of the cells protecting the lady bits down there, like preventing like bacteria coming in and stuff, they were portrayed as like little cats that like flew, these like blob cats that flew around. I'm like, yeah, okay. There was a chapter around PMS, menstrual cycle, and some of the way they talk about it I think could potentially put people off. Like, I kind of get it. There's this like group of cells that are dressed like maids and they're preparing a bed for something that could happen. I get it, but I would, The Day of Legend, that's it. They keep calling it the Day of Legend. I almost wish they were a bit more matter of fact instead of like trying to make it this like whimsical story. I mean, I get the point. It's a story manga, and like the original Cells at Work series was kind of like this, but I don't know. Maybe I'm being too fussy. Also, I really would enjoy showing some panels from the last chapter, which is about getting yourself checked out for cervical cancer, but they look really dubious about how they're doing like some of the checks and stuff, and I found myself just trying not to giggle. I do love Cells at Work, so again, I'll probably keep picking it up. I'll probably hold off again till I see them. Oh, there's a nice discount on. I could use at Black Horse. The Tale of a Little Alchemist Blessed by Spirits. This one's from Seven Seas. All of them have been condensed so far. This one is Seven Seas. So in this, it's fairly fantasy. And this girl, I think, her entire family are big powerful mages. It's kind of assumed that she will as well. Parents both powerful mages, both her older siblings powerful mages. When she is given her job, she is given the job of alchemist. And I don't think it's necessarily like frowned upon or looked down. I don't think it's like, oh, this is a bad role. I think it's more that it's just different. I haven't been able to quite tell. I mean, she's worried that she's going to be like looked down on because this is like a really bad job to be given, but no, she's just given like love and affection and encouragement, and they prepare a space for her to be able to do alchemy. It turns out she's like a really amazing alchemy, just highest grade alchemy-y things ever seen before, because of course she is technically reborn. I think she's reborn from the same world. I feel like that aspect wasn't needed. Basically, in her past life, she was treated terribly. She had ended up with the job role of maid, and her family were nobles, but not like high up, I think. And it was like, being a maid is terrible, and it basically kicked her out. They sent her away to be a maid somewhere. Then she got really sick, abandoned, and died. Woke up in this new body. Except I think that there's two consciousnesses. I think there's the consciousness of like the new kid that's been born, as well as this previous person. They're both in there, being able to have a chat basically. But then the past soul quite early on is like, I need to let you live your life, and disappears. You won't remember me, by the way. So I'm like, what was the point? Why were you, what? I don't quite understand why. Maybe something else happens on, but it just felt like, quick, we need some tragic backstory that we kind of just do away with really quickly. I don't know. Maybe I misinterpreted. Absolutely possible. Hey ho. All I really, really want is that this doesn't get weirdly sexual, because she's like 6 and it's quite cute, it's quite sweet. She's just a very competent alchemist and people around her are supportive. I'm not sure I'd like run out of my way to recommend it, but it's nice enough. It's fine. It's like a 6 out of 10 series for me. Just hope it doesn't get weird because she's young. Please. Next we have Cocoon, and this is a one-shot, and I've been like thinking about how to talk about this series for, I think I read it about a month ago. It's been a month. I'm just trying to think how to talk about it. So it is about a group of girls who I think had gone to boarding school. Yeah, and their studies are interrupted when they and other students are recruited to help the war effort. Then they get sent to the front lines and they are basically trained up as frontline nurses during this war. I don't think it clarifies what war. Just a war. Overall, it is a very dark, stark telling of this kind of role in this kind of scenario. I don't go into this expecting a jolly read. I'll do some slight spoilers, but I probably won't spoil everything. But there is a lot of death, there is a lot of gore, there is a lot of unpleasant moments, plenty of trigger warnings. Please, please, if you are considering it, look it up. I would say it is a title where good read isn't necessarily what I would like to call it, considering the topic and nature. A compelling read, a strong read. It very much invoked emotions. However, I just don't think it's for me, and I was trying to think because I've been reading lots of reviews and it is very highly rated, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree, but for me personally, it wasn't, and I didn't enjoy it. And that's not to say I feel like you can only enjoy things if they're happy. I was trying to think why? Because I had very similar feelings when I read Horizon, a 3-volume manhwa printed by Press, which is telling the horrors of war through the eyes of a child. But what is it about it? Because I'm not really against it. And I think, after my month of ruminations, I think it's more just I'm not a big fan of reading that kind of topic through manga. If I want to learn or read about that kind of thing, I'd rather it through TV, documentaries, film. I'm less interested about manga. Why that is, I don't know, but I think that's kind of what I've come to conclude from my many moments of just sitting and thinking. I think another thing I didn't enjoy too much, but it's kind of partly the point, is the style of the drawings are very sketchy, and what that often leads to is it's not always the clearest what has happened. But I think that's kind of the point. I think you're meant to kind of try to infer yourself what's kind of going on. But again, that's just not something I'm a big fan of, because I get very easily confused and I struggle to understand, without it being a bit clearer, what it's trying to tell me. So when I went back and started reading reviews on Storygraph, Goodreads, all sorts, and someone would be like, the symbolism was trying to say this, and I'm like, was it? Really? I'm gonna have a flick through. I don't remember it trying to say that. But again, this is more a me issue. I do think there is a lot of people out there who would want to, I was gonna say enjoy reading it. I'm still not sure that's the right choice of words. All down to you, I suppose. But what I do hope when I do these sort of reviews is I hope that I'm able to talk about and get point and plot of the story across to someone that, even if it's not necessarily been a story for me, I might be able to talk about it in a way that it might interest or be a story for you. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yay! Using my words is hard sometimes. Yeah, so even though I didn't rate it too highly personally, don't think that necessarily means it's bad. I'd love to hear some other opinions of other people. If you've managed to take any of that in, do think we might have to do the non-volume ones in another video, considering we've done 6. Saying that, there is a chunk of non-volume ones. Next we have Star Wars Thrawn Volume 1, which was kindly sent from Panini. I love the Star Wars manga, and this is based on the novel by Timothy Zahn, and I actually do know of them pretty well. My parents really loved those novels and read them. I remember them reading them when I was a wee nipper, and they've been trying to get me to read them for years. And I've read a bunch of other Star Wars novels, especially around the 501st Legion, but I, for whatever reason, just never got around to reading the Thrawn trilogy. Don't know why, just didn't. And I said to my dad, look, there's a manga, I'm gonna read this one. He was like, you can read a book with words. And I'm like, there are words, there's just also pictures. I do quite like Thrawn, I like Star Wars. Ben is in a big old Star Wars binge, reading and watching everything. He's going through all the High Republic novels and stuff as well. And I don't know if he's interested in any other later novels, because he's in his High Republic phase at the minute, but I quite enjoyed this as a Thrawn enjoyer and Star Wars enjoyer, because you do see Thrawn in Rebels and Ahsoka. Next we have When a Clueless Player Falls into Another World Volume 1, and I've just noticed like under the it says first person shooter, just in case you didn't know. It is an isekai. A guy is playing a game. It's an FPS game, and he suddenly isekai'd into this fantasy world, and he uses his like on-hand armory to take down fantasy elements. So he's got this menu here with all of his weaponry. That's pretty much the story. He's trying to find his place. It's a bit more on the gory side, which doesn't surprise me considering like it's got a lot of guns in it, to be honest. If you like your mid-range isekai, then give this a go. I'm gonna keep an eye out for it in sale sections because I'm gonna guess that's where I'm gonna see it. Next we have Void number 9, volume 1. Very blind pickup. I hadn't even recognized the cover when I picked it up in Traveling Man. Oh, it's still got a sticker on. I should take that off. Usually I leave the stickers on until I've read them, and like when I've read them I take the sticker off as like a little treat, but I keep forgetting nowadays. My memory is not what it used to be. I got a little bit confused reading it. I didn't quite get what was going on. I think like something's ravaged Earth, and now people live on like the top layer because there's monsters in the lower layers. And sometimes people get sent in to the lower layers to fetch goods and stuff that can be sold for high prices, and they get paid like by the hour, and if everyone survives they get bonus and stuff like that. And we're kind of just sort of exploring all the different people and their backstories. They head down in groups of 3, and I think there's 3 groups of 3 plus a couple of people who like run the whole thing where people get sent down. So quite a few characters and backstories and stuff, and that's kind of mostly what's been going on. I think I might have read it got cancelled though, so I don't think there's that many volumes, and I'm worried it's not going to be a complete plot. Yeah, these are all the characters we've got so far. So we've got 3 groups of 3 and then the 2 like that run it. I don't know yet. I'm not really sure. I don't know if I'd recommend it or not really. Next we have Marrying the Dark Knight for Her Money, and this is a GL, the sun. Can I move my monitor to block that? I cannot, it's already risen. Can I tilt it? I've tilted my monitor, I am safe. This is a GL title, and what I really quite liked about it is this one is really grumpy. I kind of a soft spot when they're really grumpy, because I like the same in BL as well. Yeah, basically her family is really low on cash, they need money, and the Dark Knight is available for marriage, and she gets pushed forward to go marry the Dark Knight. However, it is a big old secret that the Dark Knight is actually a woman. This is how the Dark Knight dresses day to day, so you can't tell it's a woman. And so they get married, and the Dark Knight is like, just leave me alone, they've talked to me. And she's like, no, I don't. She's worried that they'll want divorce, and she's like, I need the money to help my family and my little sister. So she barges in and finds out that the Dark Knight is actually a woman. And the Dark Knight is like, I'm gonna kill you. And she's like, no. And she like panics, and on the spot is like, I love you, I've fallen in love with you love at first sight, whatever it is. And then it's a whole bunch of like silly hijinks of the Dark Knight is really stubborn and doesn't want to get married, only got married because the king like made them. They just want to be a Dark Knight doing Dark Knight things, and she is desperate to not be murdered and also be able to help her family, and there is like some emotions developing, and it's very cute. I quite like this one, so I look forward for more of this one. Magica Volume 1. So I think there's two of these, and I've ordered the second one. So this is a title from Kodama, this publisher here. They are the publisher printing Baki and managing to continue printing Baki at like 2 volumes a month, which is just insane. So not only does it have this strip here, which you can take off, but it also does have a cover, which I was just faffing with. You can take this off too. So this is a selection of one-shots. I'm not really sure if there's like an ongoing theme between them. There's an ongoing character, which is like this mage character who kind of appears, but all the chapters and stories are kind of like, to be fair, there's a lot to do with death. Why did this one bother me less than like Horizon and Cocoon? I don't know. But it's all about like, yeah, tragedies across the universe and weaving them into tales with wondrous luster. But they are all like one-shot chapters about like different people on different worlds and like their lives, but a lot of them are quite tragic and sad. Yeah, it is also in full colour. If you ever wonder why it costs a bit more, it's because colour. But I was like, what's the ongoing theme? The ongoing theme is there's this like girl who's magic or something, and she's being read bedtime stories, and these are like the bedtime stories that she's being read from this like goat thing. There's the library. And yeah, magical, whimsical, and tragic. I kind of liked it though. It was like, I don't know, melancholy? I don't know. This is the problem. Sometimes it's just vibes. How do you describe vibes? For me, I find it easier to just do a number. Like, I think I gave this, what did I give this in my spreadsheet? Oh, it's on this monitor, which is now tilted. So I gave it a 7. I gave it a 7 out of 10, which means I did quite like it. And I'd probably recommend it depending. I don't know. Next we have Bride of the Shark Clan. And I'm not too clear if this has multiple volumes. Some places online said just 1 volume, but it kind of felt like it was potentially setting up for more. And a few people had mentioned like with more of the story, and I'm like, I don't know if it's got more than. Anywho, basically on this island there are 2 clans, and one clan every year sends off the weakest member of their clan to the other clan to be their bride. And the other clan that the bride gets sent to is the Shark Clan, hence the title. It's seen generally as very shameful to be sent over because you're going to take on all of the woman roles, and you're going to be the one that ends up carrying the children and doing the house chores, and that's very demeaning and feminine and bad. And I'm like, all right, okay. I feel like there's ways of like talking about potentially what they're trying to say without being derogatory to women and females. Just, yeah. Also, a big selling point of this series is that shark have 2 peepees, and it is true. And what I find really funny is that they censor the human one, but they do not censor the shark one. Yeah, I don't know if that'll interest you, but I think it's interesting. I do know a lot of people who seem to be more interested in it because of that than anything else. It was fine. I think the woman stuff put me off a bit though, to be honest. Next we got Shinobi Undercover Volume 1. This felt really similar to Kill Blue. If you don't know Kill Blue, it is another series from Shonen Jump where basically a guy has to go undercover to help protect someone. He was this like spy, world-renowned spy. He was like in his 30s, 40s, 50s, accidentally has turned himself into a high schooler, and he's now trying to like indoctrinate himself in the school to look after this girl. And this premise is really similar, except instead of spies, they're ninjas. And he also is just a high schooler. He's not been like aged down or anything. But yeah, it's a group of shinobi have been sent into a high school to protect this girl. And this guy here is like the best one there is, but he's horrifically socially awkward. And for whatever reason though, the target that they're protecting has latched onto him and is quite fond of him and is like, I'm being your friend now, you're my friend. And you're like, okay. I quite like it. The problem is, it is so similar. And I've kind of like stopped picking up Kill Blue because I've not read all I've got. I'm worried that just the same thing's going to happen with this one at this point. I quite like them. I like the silliness, the action and all that jazz, but is it enough to like keep me wanting picking it up? And to be fair, because it's a Shonen Jump, I have like no worries that if I don't decide to pick it up for a year, I can pick it up when I fancy. There'll always be volumes available. Viz is one of the better ones generally. And I know there's going to be, well, this series is, yes, I know. There's always going to be series from every publisher that's not available. But typically, comparatively, I would say Viz is generally on the better spectrum, better end for stuff being available or doing reprints compared to some of the others. So I don't know yet. Maybe another 1 or 2 and see if I manage to keep up with reading them. Next we have Remnant, the Beastman Omegaverse Saga Volume 1. This was very, it's not dark, it's not like the right word. It's definitely on the dreary side. It's definitely not an upbeat, peppy Omegaverse title. Everyone's just pretty sad and hates each other. And this guy is seemingly managed to, what's the word again? Is imprint the right word? Fated soul with this man here. But he's really mad at it, about it. But he's kind of taken him in for now. But he has a sister that he wants to look after and she's kind of gone missing a bit, so he's trying to save up money / find her kind of deal. I understand it gets a bit nicer and they like start to hate each other a bit less later on, but currently there is a lot of hate and there are some very much trigger warning moments to take a look at in case you're worried. Oh, that's all the volume 1s in that pile that we have done. On to the next pile, which I think might have more. The next we have Fruit of the Underworld Volume 1. I quite like this one. It is about a guy who, when he's a kid, he accidentally falls down a well and finds a hidden root entryway into the underworld. He takes the pomegranate or something, which turns out is like embodies the underworld's powers or something. And yeah, kind of stuck with this horrific bad luck where he's on the verge of death or keeps ending up almost in these life-death situations. I didn't really understand why. And it does become clear that ultimately it's because of this damn pomegranate fruit thing that he nicked. Yeah, and it turns out a very important fruit. A lot of people are after it and are hunting him down and trying to find this like secret entrance to the underworld. And he unfortunately is on a bus or something with his like best friend and like a load of other classmates, and fate ends up sending the bus over and he's the only survivor. And he feels like it's all his fault, so he is determined to now head down into the underworld and save them. And that's pretty much volume 1. We're now in the underworld trying to figure out what's going on. I quite liked it. It was quite fun. I don't know how long this is going to be. I hope it's not a rushed story. But I also am a bit annoyed because I think there is only 1 volume out, which means I'm already up to date. I'm already up to date. Next we have another Shonen Jump title, Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, Volume 1. They're all Volume 1s. But it's another Shonen Jump from Viz. It's not set in a school and they're not trying to protect someone. Actually, wait, no, it is set in a school. They do go to school. Oh, yeah, this guy is like the best exorcist ever seen or whatever, but again, he's very socially awkward and doesn't really know how to talk to people. So I think he like gets sent to school and is like undercover trying to live a normal school life whilst also training to be a better exorcist, hunting certain demon exorcist things down. But yeah, no, like it was an enjoyable read. I enjoy my Shonen Jump, but how long is it going to be? Am I going to keep up with reading it? I don't know yet. Probably do the same, buy the next few. Do I read those? And if not, I'll put a hold on picking it up until I do. But I need to like juggle in my mind now because this, Shinobi Undercover and Kill Blue are like all very similar in my head because they're all like, it's a spy, it's an assassin, it's a Shinobi ninja, it's an exorcist going to school and trying to live normal school life while also becoming like ultimate in their field. Do I have a preference? How would I put one above the other? I'm not sure yet. I probably need to read more to decide. Next we have Safe and Sound in the Arms of an Elite Knight, a new title from J-Novel. I think it is actually like from their new imprint, J-Novel Heart, if that will focus. I'm just gonna hit the camera with it. There we go, kinda, ish, kinda, yeah. I mean, it's just J-Novel with the word heart underneath. That's the imprint. Yeah, but it's a very like light-hearted-ish, mushy romance. She is treated terribly. She's born with this birthmark on her back, which apparently is bad omen or something, and just everyone in her life treats her terribly. She is completely abused, and she fears after years of this, she's fearing that she might not actually survive, so she makes a run for it. And she is very helpfully taken in by this dashing knight who happens to just have a big old manor that he can't take care of and offers for her to be a live-in like housekeeper. Basically it. I like these series to see the bad people get their comeuppance, for him to realise how badly she was treated and all that jazz. And yeah, don't think it's amazing, but it is my kind of thing. I think the sun's actually going away now. Taken this long, we still have a bunch to go through. Next we have How to Survive as a Maid in a Horror Game, and this is a new manhwa title from Seven Seas. It's big, it's heavy, it's in colour. So yeah, this girl has been isekai'd into a horror game as a maid to a guy who is like the scary murderer attacker person. The guy is like, it has to kill so many souls to be able to be free of this curse or something, and she just happens to be a maid in his manor or something. It's quite a stats, like system-based story, which I always really like. It's also a bit more on the humorous side. I thought it was going to be more horror. It's not really. It's almost kind of comedic how much she's like trying to get out of his way or stay away from him to make sure that she doesn't get hurt or anything. But it's very silly. There is this whole point where she has all these mini games available to her and she's trying to do them to get some more money or to buy like a new pillow, and then it's like, yeah, everyone can just see her doing these silly movements and all. I wouldn't say I've highly rated it. I quite enjoyed it, and I have a bit of a soft spot for manhwa at the moment. Really enjoyed a lot of it. So again, probably pick up the next one or two and see how we go from there. Girls Zombie Party, Volume 1. Yeah, all the men seem to be turning into zombies, and these appendages seem to be coming out of their mouths and attacking women. What is almost, I mean, I can't show on YouTube. I think I did in the Discord server. It's so comedic is how often they keep forcing panty shots in. Like, genuinely, it is like every other page. These girls are just having a conversation and the angle of the panel is like, I say up her skirt is like this long. There isn't really anything to look up, but the angle is like back here looking at the bum where you can see the panties and the panties of the other girl as well. It's just like, there's no point, there's no reason, but obviously this mangaka is like, all the panty shots are needed. Yeah, zombie apocalypse and these girls trying to escape and survive in their panties is the plot. History of the Kingdom of Orcsen, how the barbarian Orcish nation came to burn down the peaceful Elfland Volume 1. This is very, I don't know what I expected. I thought it was going to be like a very solving like elf, dwarf, orc racism that sometimes happens. But this one is, I think it's worse than I expected. It's very war heavy, like aggressive war heavy. So you have dark elves and you have light elves, and the light elves have basically massacred the dark elves, and there's like most of their like people have died. And the dark elf chief person turns to the orc king and is like, can you save us? And he's like, yeah, sure. And in exchange, they basically become like part of his kingdom, part of his people, part of his army. And yeah, it's a very army war driven story. I think like I was quite surprised to see how German leaning some of the war references and like uniform were. And Ben was like, yeah, that's actually quite common in like a lot of stuff that he's read, like Saga of Tanya the Evil is quite similar as well. Yeah, so the Dark Elf chieftain calls him Konig? Apologies, I've definitely pronounced that incorrectly, which I think is German for my king. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm interested enough to really continue it on. Again, it'll be one if like I see it for £1 in a sales section, then maybe, or secondhand. But I'm not gonna currently rush to pick up much more, I think. Next up we have, I read both 1 and 2 of the Shugo Chara Anniversary Edition. So these are 2-in-1 new formats printed by Kodansha. I really like the colourings on the spine. The third one is green. And I've been quite looking forward to trying to read more classic series, especially more classic shoujo titles, because I am completely annoyed. I didn't really start reading shoujo till like, I was like 20, so it completely skipped me by when I was younger. I pretty much was just Shonen Jump from like when I started until post-graduating really. So I'm trying to try a bit more as and when I can. One thing I would say, and it's not just this series, I've had issues with it in other series as well, but the pacing is like so aggressive. The scene changes just jump so quickly, and sometimes I just get so confused. I'm like, how did we get here? Where are we? Are we in a different room? Who's that? And I did think like it was me, especially with the other titles, but there was one in particular which I still want to do a whole video on, when everyone online seems to be like, no, the pacing of the manga is terrible, you want to watch the anime. The manga pacing is bad. I'm like, okay, maybe it isn't just me. I'm going to say that I did enjoy it, I think. I mean, I'm looking forward to the next one, which is out in September, because I looked it up. So you know I kind of liked it. It's when I look up when the next volume's out. But what is it about all the shoujo that make... Why is it so sus? Why is there so many sussery bits? Why, again, spoiler, I can't remember if it's the first or second one, so apologies if it's the second one. But why does the sister give her brother a big old snog? Why, and it's like, why does this keep happening? Why, of the 3 abilities does she have with her eggs, is one of them like housekeeping? Why is that one of her abilities? There's like cheering and being peppy, and then artistic skills, and then housekeeping. But I do like the transformations. This is a magical girl, right? I do like the transformations. Also, a while back, there's like a bunch of pins you can see here, and I got a load of like mystery bags they did. They were pretty cheap. And I did actually get this one, and at the time, I'd not read it, and like I didn't know who she was. So I was like, she'd been delegated to the bottom of the pin board, and I felt a bit guilty about it. But now that I have read it, I actually know who she is, and that it's her in her like peppy, cheery form, the heart egg thing. Woo! Yeah, if you have any other like classic series I should be trying to read, mainly ones that I already own, let me know and I'll try and get on those as well. we are actually closing in. I think I forgot there was a big wad of volumes that weren't volume 1s. But next we have Catnaps. Catnaps everywhere. And this is I think it's a one-shot from Pandana, the person that does all of those Seven Seas, For Coma, like Evil Secret Society, Cat Jobs, Cthulhu Cat, Monster Cat. What are the ones? They're all behind me. Yokai Cats. This one is more of like an autobiography, daily life with the mangaka and their cat called Nechi. And what I really loved about it, like desperately loved about it, is their cat is like, they describe them as a gentle giant. It is an absolute massive cat, came out to 75 centimeters long, which, and that's like body and tail. But he's a good boy, he doesn't scratch the walls or the floor, he doesn't play pranks, doesn't hiss, doesn't scratch. He lets him brush him, but if he wants him to stop, he doesn't get angry, he just like pushes him. And I loved it so much because that is exactly what my cats are like. They are the most gentle, loving, sweet cats that are just teddy bears. Massive teddy bears that like are impossible to move, but still the best teddy bears. Very polite teddy bears. And I feel like I related it so much because like this is exactly what my cats are like. Like this one, it was like, my cat is here, I need him out of the way, but I can't move him out of the way, which is exactly what happens with Yuna. Yuna's like, I'm sitting here, you're not gonna move me, and she's right, I can't move. So yeah, I absolutely love this one. Such a shame, I think it's just the one volume, I don't see any numbering down the side, but I think it's my favourite from them so far because, yeah. Next we have Magical Karina, Volume 1. This, actually, to be honest, I wasn't a big fan because I kind of struggled to understand what the plot and what was going on. This girl is able to see these like creatures that seem to eat up souls, and she runs into this guy who gives her a bracelet that allows her to turn into a magical girl. And she turns into a magical girl and tries to beat up some of this like soul-sucking monsters. But it isn't like the most light-hearted. I mean, I don't feel like many magical girl series from my understanding are necessarily the most light-hearted of titles and series. There are some dark moments in it, and there's like a lot of emotional discussion and that dark emotions leading into things. Maybe look up trigger warnings. But I just don't quite get what the plot is. So again, I'm not sure I'm going to rush to grab more of this unless it's on sale just yet. Final volume I have to talk about, probably the last one I'm going to talk about because I've been going a while. We have 7 Sundays Volume 1, kindly sent to me from Ice Press. It is a BL, it is plastic wrapped. I do think, yeah, they are lightsabered up. Basically, this guy was seeing someone and then he was kind of ghosted. Very sad about it. A number of years have passed, they've reconnected, and he's kind of managed to coerce him into going on 7 dates, I think, with him. And I think the plan or intention is to do them on Sundays, which is, I think, the reason behind the title. A whole bunch of stuff's going on around the outside. He is a firefighter that, like, made the news, and they're now getting a documentary made about it because it was, like, such a big deal. And the other guy works in the place that is making the documentary, hence how they were able to reconnect. I think I kinda liked it. It's probably not my favourite BL from Ice Press, but I'll keep going and see what I think the more I read. And with that, we are done all of my recent Volume 1 reads. I'll see if I have the energy to film like a mini one, because the thing is, not everything that's a Volume 1 I really have much to say, but this is already going to be pretty long, so there might be just like a mini one. I don't know, members video or something. Let me know in the comments if I've tempted you towards or away any of these titles. I am interested to know. I have enjoyed talking more about Volume 1s more regularly, because leaving them pretty much until I did my like big ol' tier list was a lot. And it means I can tackle it a bit differently this year. If you haven't already, remember to like and subscribe. Check out my channel memberships for early access to my videos. I have about 4 or 5 to film this week, so there will be a whole bunch up there if there isn't already. Otherwise, I hope you have the most amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!